Hi, my name is Emily Valentine. I am one of the school-based therapists with Nystrom. I'm going to talk to you today about sensory diet and overstimulation. So overstimulation is quite literally having too much going on. So too much sensory input is happening to the person. If that's a child, if that's an adult, it happens in both. This is the brain not filtering things the same way anymore. And this can cause things like anger, anxiety, and it doesn't always do so. Somebody can be really overstimulated at a concert and love being there, but they are very overstimulated and there's too much going on. So they might need to take a break, and that's okay. Overstimulation can also be the time, just the length of time. So you can be doing something you really enjoy. You're out with friends, you're playing games, you're doing your normal things, but you're in a group, and if you're there for a few hours, that can be really exhausting, even if you're a very extroverted person. So you go, you come back, you take a break, if that's laying down, if that's just being away from people, and then you can go on with your day. So those are all things that happen with overstimulation. So the brain isn't filtering input correctly. That means that that person is experiencing their senses they're just louder. So like they are experiencing volume at a lot higher of volume than normal, or they're experiencing light coming into their brain or their eyes, and it is really, really bright, and the contrast is a lot. So that feels like all of the senses are at volume 10, and that is a really hard thing for people to navigate. A lot of times kids have built coping skills and adults have built coping skills, but they need to have coping skills that are focused on that overstimulation. You can use great coping skills for anxiety, but if your senses are all at level 10 or outside of that realm of tolerance, you're not going to be able to navigate those things by sitting down and writing or sitting down and breathing. You might need to take some time with some headphones, or you might need some time with a blanket or dark space, whatever that looks like for that person. So those coping skills need to be focused on that overstimulation. A lot of times overstimulation comes out as anger and anxiety, and kids don't know how to talk about that. So their parents are seeing an angry child, or their parents are seeing their child acting out. And if they have the language around it, and as they work around getting that language around it, that might look like that child being able to say, "This is too much, I need to take a break." Or that child being able to automatically go to whatever that soothing skill is, if that's using headphones or if that's using a blanket or a hoodie or whatever. This can be triggered or compounded, so made worse by, we use the acronym HALT. So hungry, angry, lonely, and tired. All of those things can make overstimulation worse, and that can also be things like changes in schedule can make these things worse because it's outside of what expectations are. So all of those things can make overstimulation a lot harder. So normally a person might be okay in a crowd, but if they are really hungry, they might be very hangry, or they might be really overstimulated by that crowd. They might normally be okay with loud music, but if they have been going through not sleeping, that loud music might be too much. And those are things to just keep in mind and keep identifying. And the more that kids learn about what they need and what those sensory needs are and what they feel like, the more they'll be able to advocate. And it's also the work of the parents and their social workers and therapists to help them get that language and learn to advocate for it. So that is overstimulation, and that is something that happens with sensory diet, and when we need to figure out if that sensory diet needs to be changed or if that sensory diet is just being disrupted because there's been a disruption in the schedule or something new. Well, thanks for listening, guys, and I'll talk to you next time. Bye.